Hello everyone. So in today's lecture we will be solving previous year GATE question that was asked in 2011. Question is based on preemptive SGF CPU scheduling in operating system. Here we are given three processes P0, P1 and P2 with their arrival time and burst time. And we have to apply this algorithm and we need to find out the average waiting time. And these are the given options out of which one is correct. Now let's do this question without any delay. Now here as you can see that we are given these processes with their arrival time and burst time. So if I talk about 0th millisecond, so at this time only one process is available, that is P0. So this process is going to take the CPU. So P0 will take the CPU and it is going to run only for next 1 millisecond because this is preemptive SJF, right? So after 1 millisecond, we are going to check that which are the other processes which are going to join it. So here the after this 1 millisecond, the burst time remaining is 8. Now here we can see that the processes that have arrived, P0 was earlier there, but along with that P1 has also arrived, right? And the burst time of P0 remaining is 8 and burst time of P1 is 4, out of which the burst time of P1 is minimum. So this is going to be picked and this P1 is going to preempt P0. That is why it is called as preemptive SJF, because P1 is having shortest remaining time. That is why it is going to preempt P0 and it is going to take the CPU. So the next process in the CPU is going to be P1, right? So again, it is going to run for only next 1 millisecond because at the second millisecond, P2 has joined and we'll see and we'll compare what are the remaining burst times of the different processes that are there in the ready queue. So here at the second millisecond, P2 has also joined. So P0 was earlier there, P1 was also there, and now P2 has also joined. Now because P1 was there in the CPU for 1 millisecond, so the remaining time here is now 3, right? And let's write the remaining time here for all the processes. For P0 it is 8, for P1 the remaining time is 3 and for P2 it is 9. And as we can see here, P1 takes the minimum time. So now P1 is going to continue. No, neither P0 neither P3 is going to preempt it. So here again P1 will be there in the CPU and it is going to run for the next 3 milliseconds. So 2 plus 3 is 5, right? So the remaining time is 0. So now P1 has completed its execution. So at the 5th millisecond, we are just left with two processes. And what are those two processes? We have P0 and we have just P2 because P1 has completed its execution. And the remaining time of P0 is 8 and P2 is 9, out of which this is minimum. So this is going to be selected, right? So the next process is going to be uh, P0 and P0 is going to run for next 8 milliseconds. So 5 plus 8 is 13, right? So here the remaining time, burst time will be 0. Now the next process which has completed its execution is P0. So first P1 completed its execution, then P0, and then obviously it will be P2. So at 13 millisecond, when P0 has also completed its execution, we are just left with P2. Now P2 will take the CPU and P2 is going to run for the remaining time is 9. So 13 plus 9 is 22. So this is the Gantt chart for preemptive SJF. SJF means shortest job first. So process which is having the least time is going to take the CPU. Now what is asked in the question? The question has asked about the waiting time, average waiting time. So first of all, we'll find out the waiting time of all the processes. So let's do it. So waiting time of P0, waiting time of P1 and P2. Let's find it out. So if you can see from here, this is P0, right? So P0 what was waiting for its turn from here to here. So it waited for 5 milliseconds. But you can also see that this process was executing but not waiting, right? So this interval here it is executing. P0 is executing but not waiting. So this time is going to be subtracted from this because this is not the waiting time but the execution time. right? And when did it arrive? From the like whenever you are going to find out the waiting time, just be careful that you have to subtract whatever is the waiting time according to the Gantt chart. From them, you have to subtract the arrival time also, and you have to subtract the execution time also. So be careful about this thing. So 5 minus 1 minus 0, it is 4. Now coming to P1. Now talking about P1, if you can see here, P1 waited for only 1 millisecond, right? And when did it arrive? It arrived at first millisecond only. So 1 minus 1 is 0. What about P2? If we talk about P2, P2 completed its waited for 13 milliseconds. So from here to here, it waited for 13 milliseconds. So we write 13 here. But what is the arrival time? Arrival time is 2. So just subtract it from this, and the result is 11. Okay. So now let's find out the average waiting time. So average waiting time is waiting time of P1 plus P2 plus P3 upon total number of processes, that is 3. So 4 plus 0 plus 11 by 3, that is 15 by 3, 5 millisecond. So this is going to be the answer for this. Let's see whether this answer matches with the question, the options given in the question or not. So out of these 4 options, we can clearly see that our answer is matching with the option A. So this is going to be the answer for this question. So here the answer will be 5 milliseconds. So I hope you enjoyed the session and you also understood all the concepts very well. To learn more, stay tuned to my channel and practice more and more questions by learning the concepts that I'm teaching you. Thank you so much.